Well, hi everyone, it's Marcus and welcome to another Zooming with, of course, we're doing more Adelaide Fringe because it's just knocking at our door. With me now, all the way over from Perth on his computer, Zooming with me is Matt Hale, who's the most incredible hypnotist you're going to find. Matt, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Zooming all the way from Perth Fringe World at the moment. So it's
Look at
just a
this
fringe frenzy.
Oh
My
my God, we're going
goodness.
to start giving up faxing soon.
What? Well, I've got
What?
to throw this thing. I've got to throw this thing out, do I? Oh
That's
no.
crazy. Hey, how are you finding Perth Fringe?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Like, I mean, not a lot of people know this about me because I travel so much, nationally and internationally for gigs. So I think like in like a couple of days' time, I've got to fly to New Zealand to do a couple of gigs and all that. So a lot of people are always surprised to find that I actually do live in Perth, which is the possibly the strangest place to live as a traveling performer because anywhere I go is not close to it's not close to me. So. But yeah, I love it here. So of course, this is my home festival. So yeah, I've just been having a really nice time. Yeah, I just can't wait to get my Adelaide fix though. It's been a incredible few years of performing at Adelaide Fringe, and the great thing is because I don't kind of just dip in and do a weekend of shows or 2 or 3 shows. Normally in Adelaide for 3, 4, 5 weeks sometimes, and so Adelaide's become like a real a marker for me to look forward to, and I just love. We kind of try and live in the city, in like kind of live Adelaide while we're there. So I get a car for the whole time, so I can pop to the beach, I can pop to the hills, I can get down to the mid coast, yeah, all that kind of thing. I love it. So
Hey,
yeah,
cool.
I'm not selling it to you. Obviously, you love it.
I mean, I subscribe to Adelaide 100%. They call Adelaide the 20-minute city because if you're in the city area,
Yeah,
literally everything's only 20 minutes away. The beach is 20 minutes that way.
yeah,
The wineries are 20 minutes that way. The Adelaide Hills are
yeah,
that way. That's what I love about Adelaide. Everything's very close in proximity. Um,
yeah,
but you know what? Adelaide rocks. I know that.
yeah,
Hey, tell me
yeah,
why. I mean, because you're
yeah,
performed everywhere. So many fringes, things that are not so necessarily fringe related, but you've performed all around the world. What do you
yeah.
love and admire about the Adelaide Fringe? What stands out for you?
Look, to be quite honest, I was very lucky to get taken on by the Gluttony family. So I've only ever performed in Gluttony, and that experience has just been amazing. It feels like you're really part of something special there, and the team there were so welcoming from because it is tricky. You can be very well known in a certain fringe or a certain city or a certain area, but to come to somewhere like Adelaide, which has this not just like it's a fringe. It happens just to be the second biggest in the world. So to arrive in somewhere like Adelaide where no one knows you, even though you've been going for 10 years or so, and then try and build again, takes a lot of work, but it also takes a lot of support. So it's been fantastic. Over the years performing at Gluttony, and thankfully we've had great crowds every year, and we've had great venues. So I just felt like I felt welcomed, I felt supported, and it's just a vibe. When that fringe just suddenly kicks off, and just the whole city is just alive. I mean, literally from the moment I arrive at the airport, there's a sign at the airport. I'm driving down out the airport, and we've got the flags either side of the road, and I'm just like, "Hey, I'm home, baby. Here we go again."
You've got many friends here. You've been coming such a long time. I remember first meeting you at a media launch for one of your shows. It was at the German club, I think, just in the city. And that was a good, oh my lordy. I reckon that was a good 7 years ago I first met you. And since I've seen probably about 4 of your shows over the course of the period, right up to last year. Last year was the last year I saw one of your shows. In fact, I remember you had a big long haul of shows. You literally had touched down after the Perth Fringe, and you had the worst jet lag ever. And that's not even a big flight, I get it. But I remember I saw the first night, and you were like, I'm just going to put it out there. I've got jet lag. But you know what? You soldiered on and gave one of the best shows. It was so fun. So I've known you and seen you around for a very long time. So yeah, coming back to Adelaide is like almost coming to your second home. I hear you.
Yeah.
Hey,
I am putting a little break. I'm putting a break in between Fringe Perth and Adelaide this time, just to reset, so I can like straight back in.
woo. Now, can we talk about the Gluttony program? I am in love with this. I don't know if you knew this, Matt, because you haven't
I've
seen
not
it.
seen it.
No, you haven't. But I will send you over a copy. Over 170 shows just in Gluttony alone. Then we've got obviously all the other places, Garden and all the other sprinklings around. But most importantly, why we're here talking right now is because of that one. Matt Hale, hypnotist Matt Hale, top fun, one of the best comedians, one of the best hypnotists you're going to find in Australia. You will find him on page 31.
That's almost life size as well. That I just
I know, right?
That's a fact for you. Yeah.
I love that. So 80s theme hypnosis show. It's called The Remix. It's playing from the 5th of March to the 17th of March in the Peacock. Matt, please tell us all about it.
Yeah, so this is interesting. Since the last time I saw you in Adelaide last year, so I ran Top Fun, the original version of Top Fun, 80s themed spectacular, 80s hypnosis themed spectacular show. What was interesting about that was I've never themed a show before. Every year I try and write a brand new show, around some of the things that have been going on, and which had been big the previous year. So, for example, the year before Top Fun, what was big? Squid Game. So we kind of end up putting a routine around Squid Game in, and so I would always do that. But when I found I was writing last year's show, which was a few months before we debuted it, I'm getting my scratch pad together of what were the big movies, what were the big songs, what were the big things in the zeitgeist of the public. And, obviously Top Gun at the time, with the newest Top Gun iteration was the biggest movie of the year. So basically I just like, well, I've got to do something about that. And then I was like, well, Stranger Things has been big and all the music from that. And then Kate Bush Run Up the Hill was in that and then seemed to be playing everywhere. And then suddenly I was seeing 80s remixes or 80s cover versions, and Guardians of the Galaxy was full of 80s. And suddenly like, wow, the 80s are really a thing again at the moment. So that's how I themed that show. I thought, let's theme a whole show. Now, I did not know it was going to be embraced as crazily as it was. So we had a killer run in Perth Fringe World where I debuted it. Then the same again in Adelaide. And when I was in Adelaide, someone from Edinburgh Fringe saw the show and offered me like the most prime time spot in a very big venue in Edinburgh. So having not planned to do Edinburgh last year, I was like, well, we're going to go and do it in Edinburgh. So went across to Edinburgh, took it across to Edinburgh and had a killer season over there. And went global, viral globally with, I don't know, I think we've done about 50 or 60 million views on TikTok and Facebook Reels, which has been insane. So there was something about this 80s party of a show. I always tend to say my shows are, my shows are not a traditional hypnotist show. It's not a man in a suit coming out and being very serious about things. The hypnosis, fun, funny, embracing that. I just want it to be an absolute pleasure and enjoy whether you're watching or taking part. But there was something about all the 80s parties music that just glued that show together. So, right from the start, there's sing-alongs, there's clap-alongs, there's laugh-alongs because of the 80s. So this year, there seemed to be such a demand for a lot of people, because a lot of people discovered me online through going viral and were like, oh, we didn't even see it. We didn't know you're performing. We didn't. So we thought, okay, let's run an updated version of that show. So it just means the same vibe of the show there, the same theme of the show is there this year, but we've remixed it, which means it includes some different things. So if you saw the show last year, it's got some different stuff in it this year as well. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I mean, I'm going to be honest, Matt Hale. You had me at 80s bangers. I remember when the shows, and I've got no idea what we're in store for this year, obviously, because I have not seen it. But I remember when the show started last year, you come on stage to Kenny Loggins' Danger Zone, which we all remember.
Footloose.
Footloose.
Yeah.
And so we've got those bangers from the 80s right off.
Yeah.
It's just from that point onwards, that moment that song starts playing, which is obviously everybody knows the tune, everyone knows the lyrics, it just sets the tone for the next hour. Everyone is just having a great old time. The night that I particularly saw it, It was just brilliant. There was an amazing hypnotist work. It was funny. It was just a joyous crowd. And by the sounds of it, the rest of the duration went really well also.
Yeah, it was very lucky.
What did we, tell me some more things that we might be in for this year.
Yeah. Well, actually, first of all, before I do, I'm sat here looking at you, and I just think you're actually looking very 80s today, Marcus. I mean, I would say I'd say your hair in general has got a real good 80s theme about it anyway. But there's something about the denim, the pin badges. I don't know. There's a bit of a vibe there that if I took myself back, yeah. Oh man,
all 80s, but yeah, it's what I do. I'd like to say that I'm dressed up specifically for you, but unfortunately, this is my look. I actually could leave the house in this garb as well, Look,
it's really funny because I know, obviously, we've met before, we've interacted before over the years, so I know this is your usual look. But I tell you, it's kind of like it just fits right in, and I was just looking at it, I was like, this is perfect. But
I was made for your audience.
So yeah, this year completely out of context. Completely out of context. It will include meerkats. Completely out of context. A bit of flute playing. You'll have to see why. I suppose in context, but in a very bizarre way, Bon Jovi will be featured very heavily this year. Yeah, there's lots of interesting things which we tie back to the 80s, but of course it has like that just silly twist that you get with every single one of my shows, whether it's an 80s version or not.
I love it. Now, when you do get to Adelaide, and maybe before your season starts or after the season ends for you, is there anyone else in particular that you might want to see? And I know that you haven't seen the program yet, but I'm sure you've got mates all throughout it. Is there someone you're looking forward to seeing and catching their show?
Yeah, I haven't checked to see if we're actually clash times yet or not. And I know he's only running a few shows, but I actually just saw him on that page there. Matt Tarrant has obviously got a big show. Can you tell me what times he's on, or am I going to clash with him?
Brilliant.
Yeah,
I actually had him on my radio show just the other day, actually. Incredible. Yeah. But he runs from the 13th of March to the 17th of March.
Yeah, I might be able to see. It depends what the time he's on. We make
8:10. Yeah.
Oh, I think I'm going to clash. So that's okay. I've seen Matt a number of times, but it's great. Obviously, Matt is just such a local superstar, and we've just shared many venues together over the years. And when he's been over this way and I've been over that way, so this is what's great about Adelaide. It brings people together. I get to see Matt, as socially as friends, and sometimes we manage to get to see each other's shows. So I'm obviously looking forward to catching up with him. But what's really good is that you actually get to catch up with lots of other performers. There's the bubble show guys, Yulia and Kurt, those guys, right?
I just did them yesterday, actually.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. So again, we've become friends with those, but again, it's hard to catch up with them outside of doing Fringe. So it's going to be really nice to see those guys. I'm hoping to see their new version of their adults only bubble show. I always tell people, do not ever get their kids show and their adult show mixed up. That's going to be a very big mistake.
They're as well, I think, aren't they?
They are, yeah. I just haven't. We've just not managed to coordinate getting together. So, but I know they're Adelaide based most of the year. So, what's nice is I get to kind of catch up with them on their home turf when I get over. So, yeah, there's so many shows. There's lots of different people that not necessarily from Adelaide, but will be there. I know Dom Chambers is going to be at Gluttony this year. Incredible magician as well. There's just God,
and you're going to be able to see him. And look, he's up there actually.
There we go. Yeah.
He pretty much runs for the entire duration.
Yeah,
definitely catch one of his shows.
Hey, can I point someone out for you as well?
Yes.
At that I mean, look, you've got a whole suite of incredible magicians there. But there's someone I just saw, Martin Brock. He's at the top of the page there. Can you see him?
Yeah.
That Martin. So at the moment here in Perth, I'm sharing a venue with Martin. Now he's actually from Denmark in Europe, right? And he's flown over. He's doing an incredible show. So I actually saw his show the other day. This is his first time he's come to Adelaide. It's actually his first time he's come to Perth, but he just won an award for his show here. So I just want to put it out there. I think, you know, if anyone's looking for a magic show and they're not seen something before, please try and, you know, at least put him on the list as well as your other magic shows you want to see, because it's really amazing when we get incredible acts come all the way from the other side of the world, and to have Martin as a part of the Gluttony family as well. I hope we can come out and support him, because like I said, I was very lucky to sit in on his show the other day, and it was fantastic. So big shout out for Martin all the way from Denmark.
Get out and get amongst it all, everyone. You know, Adelaide is not boring. Hey, you're not going to believe this, Matt.
What's that?
Martin's show runs exactly the same dates as yours. Exactly.
Really?
Yep. 5th to the 17th. However, good news is his show is on at 6:30, so you may be able to still catch that.
I can see it. I can see it every night at the moment, because he follows me every night, 30 minutes after I finish. So I've seen it probably once full, and I've seen bits of it many times. Yeah.
Oh my God, there is so much in there. You are not going to have a free night. I promise you. And we'll catch up. What?
I was going to say, can you give me a couple of recommendations? So,
yeah,
like, you know, maybe something I've not seen.
I saw these boys for the last year, and the Adult Magic Show. These guys are naughty, cheeky, irreverent, and very, very fun. I love those. But you know,
just did a magnet.
I love everything. I really do. I really enjoy the burlesque shows, and there's a plethora of the burlesque shows, right through to the music. Something you really should try and see is the 27 Club, which is there's some incredible artists, Sarah McLeod, amongst them, you know, from Super Jesus. All sing, the four of them perform the songs of all the big artists that died at the age of 27. So, you know, the Baines and et cetera, a really good show. That was on last year. I saw it. It's back again this year. Go and see that.
I didn't see it last year.
You can't go wrong. I was just saying before, even a bad show at the Fringe is a good show. You know?
I love that thing where you can take a chance on stuff as well, because there's so much out there. I think it's really nice to maybe step outside, not necessarily your comfort zone, or I certainly encourage that, but, you know, just to go with something that, like, maybe even just the title just is intriguing, and you think, it's a kind of really weird title. And, you know, some of those smaller shows are, you know, are fairly decently priced, and you can say, look, I don't know if this is going to be my thing or not, but you may suddenly discover that you were never a burlesque person, and now you want to go and see 5 more burlesque shows, or you were, you know, and it's funny. I always think it's a bit like comedies. Like, no one really says they don't like comedy, but they might not like a certain type of comedian. They might like an adult comedian, or this guy, or da-da-da-da. But, you know, it's the same thing with magic. Like, not all magicians, you can't say all magicians are like this, all the hypnotists are like this, all burlesque shows are like this, all acrobat, you know, circus shows. So I do find within every genre, there's something for everybody. I mean, there's some incredible circus acts. It's really amazing. And I love seeing a new twist on circus, you know. Some really great circus, some really great themed circus shows. Some incredible acrobats who grace the Adelaide stages.
It's the Fringe. That's what I like about the Fringe, that there literally is something for everybody. You know, the range, the genre, the variety is just so widespread that, you know, you'd have to be somebody that just doesn't like to step out of the house if you couldn't find something that you enjoyed at the Adelaide Fringe. Look at us plunging. Gosh, we're good, aren't we?
That's it. That's it. We're just spending the whole session just talking about everyone else's shows, but I mean, it is great. I mean, what's there, like 1,300 shows this year? I mean, across the whole Fringe. Yeah. Oh, hang on. Was it? Sorry, I just saw you flicking there. Was that a big double spread for History of House? Is History of House coming back?
Yes. Coming back? Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, that is one of my favorite shows, and it's been
last year. Amazing.
It's also had its Perth debut here this year, and it's absolutely killing it. It's
another really look at us. We're just shooting the breeze now, aren't we?
Yeah.
We could chat for like 3 hours. But another really good one I saw last year that's coming back is Soweto Choir, an African choral group.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And gospel.
They're the same group who are in History House.
That's right.
It's the same choir.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amazing. So much fun. Matt, we could chat forever, but I do have another interview in 5 minutes with Adelaide Fringe show. I think I've got Amos Hill very, very shortly.
Oh, say hello to Amos from me.
He's a good man. Matt, you are an absolute delight, and I cannot wait to see your show from the 5th of March at, where's my page again?
Peacock. I think I'm in Peacock.
Yes, there we go, in the Peacock. It's called Top Fun, Matt Hale, hypnotist, Top Fun, get amongst it. Get onto the, oh, there we go, Matt Hale says.
There's my Frankie Goes to Hollywood style shirt. There we go, Wham shirt. Yeah, excellent. All right.
On the Gluttony website, Adelaide Fringe website, but just whatever you do, get your tickets because this man is funny. Matt, you're a delight, and I'll see you when you get to town.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure, and I can't wait to see you IRL.
When you're here, actually, let's do something live. Hypnotize live or something. That'll be fun.
Let's do that. Let's do that. Yo,
catch up, my friend. Big loves.
Cheers. Thanks, folks.